So we were talking earlier, and the trip was excellent as far as down here.
Yeah, it was spectacular. It was literally 5 hours from his stall in New York to the stall here in Churchill, and 6 hours is a terrific time when you're doing these charters, but 5 hours it was like he was beamed down, so it was a good day.
So this is the second time that you've been here. You were here with Read the Footnotes
Right.
before. Are these two horses similar in any way?
They're both real high quality horses. Read the Footnotes might have been a little bit more brilliant, and he was a bit more of a show off maybe. Samraat is kind of a plain brown wrapper, but he shows up every afternoon that he runs, and you know, he's run 6 times and one horse has beaten him, so he's a real genuine horse.
How pleased were you with his race in the Wood Memorial?
It was a terrific race. Absent, you know, being in, the winner, he ran terrific. He went through a couple of experiences that he hadn't gone through before. He was surrounded for the first time. He had a horse in front of him, horse outside of him, behind him, inside of him, and that's a dynamic that sometimes the first time a horse does it, it almost cowers them. I mean, these big 17-hand horses, when they get surrounded, sometimes act like Shetland ponies, and they can improve from that, but the first time it happens, they go from being the dominant male to being part of the herd, and it doesn't always work. So that was an experience that he went through, and it didn't faze him. He was also off the bridle. He needed to run around the turn from the half-mile pole, which up until that race, he'd pretty much been not in control, fairly reserved until the head of the lane, till the quarter pole. And that, again, a lot of times that takes the wind out of some horses. All of a sudden they're off the bridle and earlier in a race, and other horses are running just as fast as him, and he, you know, weathered that storm, and social inclusion opened up too at the head of the lane, and that's another kind of like, wow, you know, another new experience. We're off the bridle already and chasing him down. And once he finally changed leads, you know, he got his nose up for second, and if there was anything that we need to improve upon is make sure he changes leads at the head of the lane. But it was a terrific experience. He got to do things that he hadn't done before, and he passed them with flying colors.
Do you think that sets him up perfectly for the Derby?
I really do. You know, I really like that he was covered up. That's again, something that some horses just don't like, and he handled it. I think with 19 other horses, I think the chances that he's going to have horses around him are pretty good. So I'm glad we get that experience. And you know, he's always been a very rideable horse. I mean, he'll go anywhere the rider asks him to go, and go into neutral, and then re-break again when he's called on, and that's not an aptitude that a lot of horses have. A lot of times when you step on the gas, they give you what they have until the gas tank says empty, and they kind of grind home. We're, you know, have the luxury of being able to kind of tap into that a couple of times, and in a big field like the Derby, you'd have to think that's going to be pretty valuable.
Now, how would it feel for you personally to win this race?
I don't know. I mean, it's a life-changing experience for sure. There'll be kind of disbelief and probably not knowing how to react and all of that, but there's no question. You know, until you experience it, I don't know you can articulate it. It's something new, and it'll certainly be dreamlike.
That's all I've got.